Today we're spectating something pretty incredible. This is Bbreadman getting a nuke achieved solo against quads. So he is by himself against other teams of 4 players. I think this is probably one of the most remarkably unique experiences in Warzone and something extremely challenging to do. So we're going to spectate everything that he has done. And of course, if you want to check out the original clip and everything that he has done, please check it out in the description below. So the first part of this is arguably the easiest part because you get yourself the contract, you get yourself the Geiger counters, and off rip, you're going to receive enough money for any kind of loadout drop. So that's easily the biggest component of this, is that he is going to receive a loadout straight away. The hard part is literally everything else. There is nothing going in his favor right now. But he does reference that nobody has typed in text chat that the nuke is activated, which is usually a good sign. Now, I'm sure Bbreadman won't mind me saying this. This is a phenomenal achievement to get done in any lobby. But I think the reality is that for nobody to be typing in text chat and talking about the nuke is enough sign early on that this lobby might be a little bit easier to deal with. Again, 99.999% of us would still not be able to get this off and still not be able to pull this off, just to say how phenomenal this is. And he does have a couple of fighters here, like this first one. I mean, that's a full drop shot. That is winning your ones early, because even as simple as a death right now would lose you your loadout, lose you all your gear, and put you back at square one. And again, this is all done on mouse and key, soloing quads, which is utterly ridiculous.
That guy's throwing freaking, what's it called?
So he's done a really good job here of getting the helicopter close to him for first element, because it just makes sense. He's let the circle collapse as well. He's letting the circle collapse so he can pick a central location and then run in with Beryllium. He's literally most likely going to drop this straight away. It's my first time watching this. It would be crazy to try and hold on to BE in any way, shape, or form. Just dropping B and then carrying on is the way to go, because you're going to allow the other teams to kind of thin each other out, even though it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. He is somehow, I'm not entirely sure how, managed to keep that helicopter alive. But he's literally dropped BE and he's out. He is gone. Now, hopefully this team isn't going to pursue him because they see BE's above them and they probably think that there's still a whole team here. Now, it makes sense for any other team in this lobby to assume that there is a full 4-stack playing this nuke. So when he drops off BE, he actually kind of gets a little bit lucky with that in his favor, as he's able to escape. I mean, it's a fantastic movement to get away, but it looks like the other team didn't over pursue because they just weren't expecting him. Now, the second one is arguably also kind of easy to do in terms of approaching it. Unless somebody's occupied this building already, very few people in my experience in nuke runs actually tend to press the safes. Now, obviously, he still has the outrageous task now of reclaiming BE, which is going to be extremely hard to do because people are going to be fighting on it. He has to run this one central as well, or hold on to it, and then he has to take on the nuclear chopper. And I think the nuclear chopper is probably the biggest Achilles heel to this, because he has to shoot in the sky at a nuclear chopper. And that's just a pure positional giveaway. There is nothing of merit to shooting a chopper in the sky. It is going to give away his location, and squads are going to press him. The chopper is probably the most obvious component of this nuke run, and everybody can see the nuclear crate as it drops in. They can't see the element itself once it's been extracted, but they can see the initial nuclear crate. And he's doing a really good job here to try and pressure a few people and get them out of the way. But like I say, he fires on the chopper, he fires on someone in the sky, and what does he get? A whole squad and a helicopter firing on him at the same time. This is a really good use of the thermal sights. It's a great way to pick up some easy picks against teams. I love how he's fast forward this segment of him just having to gun a helicopter back and forth. Just goes to show how much health this thing has. On top of having to deal with now people, which is utterly ridiculous. This is a nice rotation away here, getting onto this hillside. Again, every team that he's encountering here is probably going to assume that Bread is a 4-stack, even though he isn't. 64 alive as well. So far at this point, there are still lots of people in. Another set. This helicopter is insane. It has no scalability in terms of damage, by the way, if you solo quad a nuke. It still requires the same amount of bullets. That's insane. It's actually dropped it in the it's dropped it in the gas room, which is Outrageously painful. He scooped it quickly. Thankfully, these two elements won't get him marked, but now he's got the really hard part of collecting BE. At this point, he is being both scrambled on his own UAV. He is taking damage passively. He has a gulag and a redeploy pack, which is really lucky, but even then, he has effectively one shot at getting the nuke armed and off. Now, in this kind of lobby and in this kind of situation, reclaiming BE is going to be picking his right time. It's literally just going to be a case of, right, everybody's fighting each other. Let me swoop in, grab it, and quickly go. And on the flip side of that, arming the nuke and getting the nuke to detonate is going to be a combination of using that thermal sight and also hoping and praying that all of the quads around him are going to engage each other and not focus on him. Because all of these other teams are assuming that Bread has 3 other teammates. They're assuming a larger fight is going to occur, and they're probably approaching the gunfights as such.
Can't see shit out here.
Does a really good job to stow some extra util. Extra smoke grenades here is absolutely huge for that thermal sight. That's such a nightmare scenario. He's got a nuke landing pretty much on BE, which is huge. Like I say, these nuke runs, and I'm sure Bread won't mind me saying this, a solo and quad nuke run is absolutely outrageous, but any nuke run, regardless of the scale of difficulty you're doing, requires a little bit of luck. So having the bomb site land on BE is absolutely huge. He probably couldn't really ask for more in this scenario. It means that he can kind of run it in as fast as he humanly can. And it's a smart move to put the other 2 elements in to reduce his overall contingency. He doesn't have to go back in searching for those other 2 elements if he just drops them in before claiming on the BE element. Reclaim on BE is going to be hard work, but if he just gets these in first, it means he's only got to focus on one element. Yes, it's the most difficult because it marks you on the map, but it means he's only got one central focus. There's a lot of teams fighting on the hillside, which I imagine were probably trying to fight over BE from before, which is boding really well in his favor here because it's allowing him to play this nuke site without a huge amount of resistance. And it looks like BE itself is also kind of unoccupied, which is mental. Like I say, not having text chat at the start of this round, people talking, go get the nuke, go stop the nuke, usually is a big sign that very few people are going to sit on it. He probably still has at least one squad sitting this, though. This is a really nice bit of movement. This is an outrageous bit of movement. To go over the top to stop the team from challenging him, oh my word. That's phenomenal. That is called being slick with it, because he's now going to rotate away and play patient, because he doesn't need to arm the nuke for another 4.5 minutes. He's got time. Time is on his side here. He can just let the teams thin each other out. There's still 45 alive, which is hard work. He's just playing really, really patient. You're witnessing like an absolute masterclass in playing intelligently and playing patiently. Like just the ability to A, make the movement there, to put those elements in the first place is huge. And B, rotating away, knowing that you've got 4.5 minutes, you've got a mortar strike, an LTV, and 3 geezers standing on that bomb site right now. And he's just going to take his sweet time here. Look, they're fighting over a nuke that hasn't even been armed. I mean, say what you will about people not necessarily camping BE, although he did have a squad immediately under it. This is a lobby that's aware of this nuke. They are trying to stop it from occurring. They are sending streaks and vehicles in. But this is why Bread's so smart, because he's literally just playing these really intelligent picks. He's keeping that airstrike, which is big. I don't think it's worth wasting it. He's letting these guys thin each other out and picking them off from distance, giving him effectively free run at that bomb site at some point. The second he gets disarmed, life is about to get a hell of a lot easier. PA'd himself. Keeping that PA probably would have been more beneficial, but I think he's doing that to give him a window to arm, which is pretty intelligent. It's the smart thing to do in this play. He's thrown one smoke in the sky, one down close to give him an extended amount of smoke timer to plant the bomb. This is what I mean, guys, when I talk about, like, the difference between okay Warzone players, good players, and phenomenal players. Just something as simple as this silly little move from Bread here. Bro throws one smoke into the sky and another off the floor to give himself effectively an extended smoke as they detonate at separate points in time. That is outrageous. And he doesn't care if people smoke the bomb site now. They'll be doing his job for him because he's gotten everything he needs from a thermal site here. He can actually play away from the site and just use the thermal, which is exactly what he's going to do. He's just not rushing this at all. He can see the detonator visibly and has the ability to mount to mag dump in. He's got 2 nades as well. Just overall, such a like. Look, you know, this is gonna sound like I'm absolutely me 24/7. A, the use of the double smoke there. B, the ability to dive from roof to rooftop to get the hardest element in to the bomb site. As much as he is making this look easy and making it look like there's not a lot of resistance, if he had gotten even one of those things even marginally wrong, this entire run falls apart. You're basically demanding 24 minutes of perfection from whoever attempts to do this. He's put a little protection system down, good for stopping him getting cheesed. He's not even going to shoot this guy straight away. Lets him go out a little bit, then takes him out. APS is keeping him safe. You're seeing that active protection system come in. Because this is critical for him keeping bomb checks. If he is going to maintain bomb checks, it has to be done from here. Does a really good job to check that angle. One of his pets just took out his mouse pad. He's jumped in the background. This is frustrating because this is the team that have the annoyance factor. He's instantly checked bomb checks. Instantly checked bomb checks because he knows that that fight took too long. He knows that that fight required too much time of him. He is playing the windows here pretty much perfectly in terms of timing because he knows how much time it takes to defuse and he knows how long the average opponent's going to get. And now he's just going to absolutely rinse that thermal sight for everything it's got. Extra couple nades for the last 30 seconds just to give himself a bit of an insurance. More nades over the top just to give him more insurance. He gets it down. He actually, this is what I mean about a little bit of luck, folks. He is just been airstriked by something that he gets a warning for, but I mean, he's so off the edge of the flight path, you can forgive him for seeing why he probably doesn't think he's going to get PA'd. And this is what I mean. Now it's just pure luck, right? He's put these nades on site. He's done everything he can. All he needs at this point is a couple of guys just to deal with each other on the detonator so that he gets this off. Even if he self-reses, there's a chance somebody could still get that defuse. So he's going to instantly go back up. He's not going to plate. He's not going to do anything. They're sponging for each other. It's all a mess down there. He switches out from the thermal and just goes straight in with the HRM9. I mean, just this entire... I mean, that last down there, for all we know, right? So he's not healed himself. He's literally mag dumping because he's out of explosives. That last down here, for all we know, this last little down here could have been the person who was defusing. For all we know. And that is literally what I mean when I say a little bit of luck and a little bit of a masterclass. I mean, bro has done a solo in quads nuke, which is absolutely outrageous. He is the only person in this squad in a quads game. Now, I think it's worth mentioning, and this is just a couple of things. This entire run looked so much easier than it actually was. There were a couple of really critical moments throughout this entire set of gameplay where Bread did things that were absolutely massive. So the first one is this BE transition. There is a team inside the gas station right now who are waiting for a quad to stack them to try and reclaim BE. And he swoops it, literally goes from roof to roof and gets the hardest element instantly in. He's being naded, he's being shot at. He has made probably the biggest play imaginable within that entire circuit of gameplay. Getting, even earlier than that really, the ability to get this element out of the gas after crashing in the gas and get both of those elements on site without being killed. Honestly, I think the Achilles heel to this entire thing is that helicopter. If you're attempting something this batshit crazy, that helicopter is you firing it into the sky for about 3 minutes whilst other people try to kill you. Overall, I mean, there's just some mental stuff here. Like there's, stuff that Bread has made look easy, but just isn't. So after all of this, I think this play really exemplifies a kind of high level of intellect that's needed to pull something like this off. He is letting multiple 4 stacks play each other out. He's playing the off angle, picking up all the kills as these squads rotate on each other to try and take each other out. Gets easy picks on people who are effectively just camping the bomb site. And then later on, you're going to see this ridiculous smoke play. Like, I know this sounds, I know I've already spoken about this. It sounds stupid, but this is genuinely such a minor thing that probably saved him from being killed. The double smoke, the extendo smoke, which allows him to get the arm off in pretty much complete coverage by the time it's fully armed, and then allows him to move away, is absolutely insane. Now, look, that's about all I have to say on this. I honestly think this is probably one of the most phenomenal things I've seen in Warzone. Now, yes, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, oh, that lobby didn't look too difficult, or maybe people weren't, typing in chat things like, oh, stop the nuke. And it is 100% for sure that sometimes nukes are just a little bit of luck. And sometimes it is about just getting a lobby that's just a little less aggressive. I have had lobbies where taking the BE element has meant 30 to 40 people trying to stop BE. And I've had other lobbies where teams ignore it. The reality is, though, even if the vast majority of people in this game ignored that nuke, which most of them didn't, as you could see from the gameplay, most of them actually did try to stop the bomb, they tried to defuse it, or they camped BE. Even if that was the case, to pull this off by yourself is outrageous. Like, this is the equivalent, in my view, of dropping 101 kills as a solo in quad. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is that caliber of difficulty. The sheer monstrous level of stress that this entire thing is insane. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, I'll be leaving a link to Bread's original video in the description below, so make sure to check that out too. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.